Today, we are going to peel back the layers of your own mind and explore the 30 incredible things that happen inside your brain the moment fear takes hold. Fact 1. Your senses gather the raw data. Your eyes see a fast-moving shape, or your ears pick up a sudden, loud noise. This information, this raw, unprocessed data, is the trigger. It is sent as an electrical signal, racing toward the center of your brain. Fact 2. The signal arrives at the thalamus. This part of your brain acts like a central post office. It receives all incoming sensory mail, and its job is to decide where to send it. In a moment of potential danger, the thalamus does something brilliant and incredibly fast. It splits the message into two separate envelopes. Fact 3. The brain takes a shortcut. The first, cruder message is sent on what neuroscientists call the low road. This is a direct, high-speed connection straight from the thalamus to your brain's alarm system, the amygdala. This path is incredibly fast, and the information is very basic. It is not about what the threat is, but simply that a threat might exist. This is why you jump at a loud bang before you even realize it was just a car backfiring. Fact 4. A more detailed report is sent on the high road. At the same time the first message is speeding to the amygdala, the second, more detailed message travels the high road. It goes from the thalamus to the sensory cortex, the part of your brain that actually processes the information in detail. Is that a rope or a snake? Is that a friend's voice or a stranger's? This path is slower, more deliberate, and more accurate. Fact 5. The amygdala sounds the general alarm. Receiving that first, fast signal from the low road, the amygdala does not wait for confirmation. It immediately triggers a state of alert. It is the brain's panic button. It does not know the details yet, but it operates on a better safe than sorry principle. It screams danger to the rest of the brain. Fact 6. The hypothalamus is activated. The amygdala's primary call goes out to the hypothalamus. This tiny but powerful structure is the operational commander of your body's physical response. It links your brain's emotional response to the rest of your physical self. Once the hypothalamus gets the signal from the amygdala, it initiates the most famous response in biology: fight or flight. Fact 7. The sympathetic nervous system ignites. The hypothalamus flips a master switch, turning on your sympathetic nervous system. This is the part of your autonomous nervous system responsible for revving you up. Think of it as the body's accelerator pedal. It is a network of nerves that connects to almost every organ and gland in your body, preparing them for intense physical action. Fact 8. Your adrenal glands receive an urgent message. One of the first things the sympathetic nervous system does is send a nerve signal down your spinal cord directly to the adrenal glands, which sit on top of your kidneys. This message tells the inner part of the gland, the adrenal medulla, to get ready for immediate action. Fact 9. The first wave of adrenaline floods your system. In response to that nerve signal, your adrenal glands instantly dump a powerful hormone into your bloodstream: epinephrine, also known as adrenaline. This is the first major chemical wave of the fear response, and it starts changing your body in profound ways within seconds. Fact 10. Your heart rate skyrockets. Adrenaline's first target is your heart. It binds to receptors on the heart muscle, causing it to beat much faster and with much greater force. This is not a gentle increase. Your heart pounds in your chest, pumping blood at a much higher rate to deliver oxygen and energy to the parts of your body that will need it most. Fact 11. Your blood pressure spikes. As your heart pumps faster, the force of the blood pushing against the walls of your arteries increases dramatically. This surge in blood pressure ensures that oxygen-rich blood can be forced into every tiny capillary in your muscles, getting them primed for explosive action. It is like turning up the water pressure in a hose to make sure it can reach the farthest parts of the garden. Fact 12. Your body reroutes its resources. This is one of the most brilliant and ruthless things your brain does. The sympathetic nervous system constricts blood vessels in areas that are not critical for immediate survival. Blood is shunted away from your skin, which is why you might look pale with fright, and away from your digestive system. That sinking feeling in your stomach is real. Your body has literally cut the power to its digestive processes to divert that energy elsewhere. The blood is redirected to your large muscle groups, your legs and arms, loading them with the fuel they need to either run away or put up a fight. Fact 13. Your breathing pattern changes. The hypothalamus also signals the respiratory center in your brainstem. Your breathing becomes faster and shallower. Simultaneously, adrenaline causes the smooth muscles around your bronchial tubes in your lungs to relax and open up. This dilation allows you to take in more oxygen with each breath, supercharging the blood that is now racing to your muscles. It is your body's way of opening all the windows to let in as much fresh air as possible. Fact 14. Your brain activates a second wave of hormonal response. While the adrenaline rush is powerful, it is designed for a short-term burst. If the threat does not disappear instantly, your brain needs a more sustained response. So the hypothalamus releases another chemical, a corticotropin-releasing hormone, or CRH. This is the start of a new chain of command known as the HPA axis, which stands for the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Think of it as the brain's long-term strategic plan for dealing with a crisis. Fact 15. The pituitary gland joins the action. The CRH travels a tiny distance to the pituitary gland, often called the master gland because it controls so many other hormone-producing glands in the body. The pituitary responds to the CRH by releasing its own powerful hormone into the bloodstream, adrenocorticotropic hormone, or ACTH. This hormone has one specific destination. Fact 16. Your body releases the stress hormone. ACTH travels through your bloodstream back to the same place where the adrenaline rush started, the adrenal glands. But this time, it targets the outer layer of the gland, the adrenal cortex. In response to ACTH, the adrenal cortex starts pumping out cortisol, the famous stress hormone. Cortisol is slower to act than adrenaline, but its effects are broader and last much longer. Fact 17. Your body is flooded with sugar. Cortisol's primary job is to ensure you have a steady supply of fuel for the long haul. It signals the liver to convert stored glycogen into glucose and release it into the bloodstream. This surge of blood sugar provides a massive energy boost to your muscles and your brain, keeping them running at peak performance during a prolonged period of high alert. Fact 18. Your non-essential bodily functions are put on hold. Cortisol reinforces the shutdown that adrenaline started. It actively suppresses functions that are a luxury during a crisis. This includes the immune system. While it seems counterintuitive to weaken your defenses, the body is making a calculated trade-off. Fighting off a cold is a low priority when you are facing an immediate physical threat. Energy is diverted from long-term projects like healing and immunity to short-term survival. Fact 19. Your pupils dilate. This is a classic, visible sign of fear. The sympathetic nervous system tells the iris in your eyes to contract, which pulls the pupil wide open. This is not for dramatic effect. Wider pupils allow more light to enter the eye. This enhances your vision, especially in low-light conditions, helping you to see the threat more clearly and to spot potential escape routes. Fact 20. Your senses go into overdrive, creating tunnel vision. The flood of stress hormones sharpens some of your senses while dulling others. Your brain's sensory cortex becomes hyper-focused on the source of the fear. This can create a phenomenon known as tunnel vision, where you become acutely aware of the threat directly in front of you, but your peripheral vision diminishes. Your hearing might also become more acute, able to pick up on the faintest sounds related to the danger, while background noise seems to fade away completely. Your brain is filtering out all irrelevant data to concentrate solely on the signals that matter for survival. Fact 21. Your body may momentarily freeze. Before the explosive decision to fight or flee, there is often a third, quieter response. You freeze. This is not a sign of indecision. It is a highly adaptive state of hypervigilance. All movement stops, your heart rate and breathing might even briefly slow down, and your muscles tense in preparation for action. This pause allows your brain to gather more sensory information, to assess the situation without drawing attention to yourself. In the natural world, staying perfectly still can be the ultimate form of camouflage, a way to avoid being detected by a predator whose vision is tuned to movement. It is a moment of intense focus before the die is cast. Fact 22. Your rational brain finally gets the memo. Remember that high road? The slower, more detailed message that was sent to your sensory cortex? It has now been processed and forwarded to the chief executive officer of your brain, the prefrontal cortex. This is the seat of logic, reason, and conscious thought. The prefrontal cortex looks at the detailed information and asks the critical questions. Is this really a threat? Have I seen this before? Is there a logical explanation for this? It is the voice of calm trying to be heard over the amygdala's frantic screaming. Fact 23. A battle for control erupts inside your head. What happens next is a neurological tug-of-war between the primitive, emotional amygdala and the advanced, rational prefrontal cortex. If the prefrontal cortex wins, it can send a calming signal back to the amygdala, effectively telling it to stand down. You realize the shadow was just a coat on a chair, and you begin to relax. But if the threat is real, or if the amygdala's alarm is too powerful, the prefrontal cortex can be temporarily overridden. Its logical processes are sidelined, and the raw, ancient fear response takes complete control of your behavior. Fact 24. Your perception of time becomes distorted. Many people who have experienced intense fear report that time seemed to slow down. This is not a magical phenomenon. It is a byproduct of how your brain processes memory during a crisis. Because your brain is in a state of hyper-awareness, fueled by adrenaline, it is recording a much denser stream of information than usual. It is taking more mental snapshots per second. When your brain later reconstructs the event from these memories, there are more data points to process, which creates the subjective feeling that the event unfolded in slow motion. Fact 25. The experience is burned into your memory. Fearful events create some of the strongest and most enduring memories you will ever form. The amygdala works in close partnership with the hippocampus, your brain's memory consolidation center. When the amygdala is highly active, it essentially tells the hippocampus this event is critically important for survival. Record everything. This process, known as emotional tagging, creates what are called flashbulb memories. They are incredibly vivid, detailed, and long-lasting, ensuring that you will recognize and react to a similar threat much faster in the future. Fact 26. Your ability to feel pain is dampened. In the middle of a life-or-death struggle, pain is a distraction your body cannot afford. To solve this, the brain can release a flood of its own internally produced opioids called endorphins. This phenomenon, known as stress-induced analgesia, can significantly blunt or even completely block the sensation of pain. It is why an athlete can suffer a serious injury during a game and not feel the full extent of it until after the competition is over. Your brain prioritizes escape and survival over damage assessment. Fact 27. The cerebellum coordinates your physical response. If your brain chooses fight or flight, your movements need to be fast, precise, and powerful. This is the job of the cerebellum, located at the back of your brain. It is the master coordinator of voluntary movement. It takes the general command to run from the higher brain centers and translates it into a perfectly timed sequence of muscle contractions and relaxations, maintaining your balance and ensuring your escape is as efficient as possible. It is the difference between flailing wildly and running with purpose. Fact 28. You get goosebumps. That strange, prickly sensation on your skin is a direct result of the fear response. It is a process called piloerection. The sympathetic nervous system causes tiny muscles attached to the base of each hair follicle to contract. This pulls the hair so that it stands straight up. For our ancient, much furrier ancestors, this had two purposes. It trapped a layer of air for insulation if they were suddenly exposed to cold, and more importantly, it made them appear larger and more intimidating to a potential threat. For modern humans, it is a fascinating and largely useless evolutionary echo. Fact 29. The brain initiates the cool-down sequence. Assuming you have survived the threat, your body cannot remain in a state of high alert indefinitely. Once your prefrontal cortex has determined that the danger has passed, it sends a signal to the hypothalamus to call off the alarm. The hypothalamus then activates the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the body's rest and digest system, the biological brake pedal. Its job is to undo everything the sympathetic nervous system just did. Fact 30. Your body begins its return to balance. The parasympathetic nervous system gets to work. It releases a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, which slows your heart rate back down. Your breathing becomes deeper and more regular. Your pupils constrict. Blood is allowed to flow back to your digestive system and skin. The production of adrenaline and cortisol ceases, and your body begins the slow process of clearing these stress hormones from your bloodstream. You might feel shaky, exhausted, and emotionally drained as you come down from the intense physiological high. Your brain has successfully navigated the crisis, and in doing so, has reinforced the very circuits that will help you survive the next time that ancient primal alarm bell rings in the theater of your mind.